friends. Okay, so I didn't have time to make a new fairy tale for this week because I was sick as a dog, but I'm rerunning an oldie, a very oldie. I think it was only the second fairy tale I ever told in this thing. You'll know it's an oldie because I don't have the bangs. Also, I'm doing it very like off the cuff, no script. I didn't get my sound stuff yet, but I think it's a lot of fun. I was starting to figure out my way around these effed up fairy tales. So I hope you enjoy, and I hope to have some new stuff as soon as I can, and I hope you're all well.
Fucked up fairy tales with Liz.
Ding! Once upon a time, this old king was on his deathbed, so he called for his most faithful servant. He was so faithful, his name was Faithful John. The king said, "I'm not long for this world, John. I need you to promise me you will serve my son as faithfully as you have served me." And Faithful John said, "Of course I will serve him just as I served you. Till my dying day, I would lay down my life for your son." And the king says, "Good, good, good. Here's the thing. You cannot let him see the portrait of the princess of the Golden Palace. Do not let him see it. He will fall in love with her. Everything will perish. Promise me." And John says, yeah, I got it. No painting. I do have a couple questions, though. Oh, you're dead. So after they've mourned the old king, John comes to the new king, and he says, "I swore to your father I would be as faithful to you as I was to him. I am here to serve you." And he begins training the new king. He takes him around the castle. He shows him all the places it needs to be. But of course, he makes sure to avoid the chamber where the portrait of the princess with the golden palace lays. Eventually, the young king is like, what's up with that door?" "What door?" "The door you keep walking by and, like, pretending isn't there." "Oh, that door. No, there's nothing in there. There's nothing in there that would interest you, sorry." And the new king says, "You know, the way you're behaving, it makes me think there's actually something really good in there. Let me in." And John says, "No, please don't make me open it. I promised your father that I wouldn't let you see what's inside there." And the new king says, "If you were really faithful to me, Faithful John, you would let me see what's in that room." So Faithful John lets the king into the chamber, but he does his best to block the painting of the princess of the Golden Palace. Like I said, nothing to see. But John knows the jig is up, so he steps aside and the king sets eyes on the painting.
Hey, boy.
Oh god, I love her. The king is incapacitated with his obsession for this woman, and he's like, "I gotta meet her, John. I gotta meet her. I gotta meet her. I gotta meet her. I gotta meet her." And John's like, "All right, I'm your wingman. Let's go get this girl. What do you know about her?" "She likes gold stuff. I'll bring her a bunch of gold stuff." And John's like, "I got a better idea. Let's dress up as merchants and bring the gold, and we'll trick her. Because you know us chicks love to be lied to." So they sail to her kingdom. They dress up as merchants. They bring her all this gold stuff. They get her onto the boat to see it, and she's like, "Ooh la la." But she's so obsessed with the gold stuff that she doesn't realize they've sailed away from the kingdom until she's like in the middle of the ocean. She's like, "What the fuck is this?" And stick with me, guys, because now shit's about to go wild. The king and John tell the princess the deal, that they're actually a king, and he wants to marry her. They weren't merchants, they were lying, and she actually doesn't seem to have much of a problem with that, and is like, "Okay, that's cool, let's get married." So while they're sailing back, John sees that there's these ravens on the boat, and he can hear them talking, and the ravens are saying, "All this shit's about to go down when this king and this queen get back on land." "Oh yeah, like what?" "First, this horse is going to try to attack the king unless some other guy shoots the horse first." "Whoa." "Then when they get to the castle, someone's going to give the king a poisoned shirt unless some other guy throws him in the fire first." Damn! "Yeah, and then when they're dancing at the wedding, the queen's just gonna faint like she's dead, but someone has to take 3 drops of blood from her chest, and then everything will be fine." Damn! "Yeah, and the best part is, if the guy tells why he does any of this stuff, he's gonna turn to stone." "What? But that seems so unfair. He does all this good stuff." "I know, right?" And John hears the whole thing, and he's like, "Fuck, I'm the stone guy, aren't I?" Everything goes down just like the Raven says, and every time Faithful John does the right thing and he saves the king and queen. But he just looks like an insane person, and even like he tried to kill the queen, so they put him up to be executed. And since he's gonna die anyway, he finally tells them why he did all of these things, and of course, just like the bird says, he fucking turns to stone. And the king and queen are like, "Oh god, he was faithful all along, what have we done?" Years pass, the king and queen have twins, they have the statue of John hanging around, and the king is still mourning him. And one day he hears the statue of Faithful John speaking to him, and it says, "You can save me, murder your children, smear me with their blood, it'll totally work." And the king's like, "Alright, let's do this." And he beheads his children, smears the statue with blood, and it does work. Faithful John comes back to life. And John is like, "Don't worry, man, everything's cool, I can fix all this." And he somehow does. The heads go back on, the kids come back to life, and everyone's chill and not full of trauma. And they lived happily ever after.
Fucked up fairy tales with Liz.
Ding!